Hi all, my name is Jimmy James and this is Megabromb. In this first devlog I want to share this procedurally generated sky island. Lately I've been playing around with Rust and namely the Bevy engine in Rust, an experimental game engine. Mostly to teach myself this engine, but also like game dev in general. And I thought this little sky island would be a nice start. So the goal was to create a fully procedurally generated island, eventually with like forests and lakes, rocks, even like floating on like fluffy clouds underneath and stuff. Mostly low poly, but not all. And in this first video, this first like semi-devlog, I wanted to show you this like fully generated sky island, as everything is based on like random mathematics and stuff like that. This was already quite a challenge because I had to learn some new like concepts, like new to me, like normals, UVs, noise, that kind of stuff. Probably familiar to most people into game development, but it's new for me. I'm just a normal software developer, so this was a lot of new stuff for me. So let's actually get into this. So this is the actual model that I have been building. It's not perfect, but it's getting there, and I'm already super happy with it. So this is all fully generated, all random. If I now hit the space bar, I will generate a new island. Takes a little while because I have to optimize it a bit, but you can see that it generates all these new islands with new like hills and new shape and whatnot. If we take a look at this model, there are three distinct parts of the mesh. First off, we have the surface, like the top green part of it. Then we have this little green line in the middle between the surface and the rock. I call that the brim or the skirt. And actually the rock formation below. These are all three separately generated parts of the mesh. So for me, the most important, or not necessarily important, but interesting part was to create the whole random part of it. So you can see that the hills are a little bit rolling, and then obviously the shape is fairly random. Everything is random, and to do that I had to like Google around a little bit, and then basically this is where noise comes in. So a noise texture map is basically an X and Y map where every coordinate has a value which is somewhat close to the coordinate next to it, creating smooth variations in like coordinate values. When we take a look at the most common types of noise, it becomes quite clear. This example over here, you can see it in Wikipedia. This shows Perlin noise. This is probably the most common type of noise that you can find, or at least in game development. In this case, every coordinate is like stored in a grayscale pixel, making a visual representation of noise. As you might be able to imagine while looking at this noise, we can use these coordinate values as height points for our landscape. So take a look at this one, and then here you can see the fluctuations in the height. The rock base is very similar. It just uses a little bit more jagged noise to mimic the rough rock. So a little bit more interesting than the noise is how I connect the rock to the surface, because the surface is somewhat flat, but the rock it has a slope. You can see it slowly goes to the surface, and this was actually quite tricky. Basically, what I do is for every XY position, or not XY, XZ position in the rock noise, I calculate how close it is to the surface, and if it's within a certain like offset, I start to lower the Y position. So the closer to the edge, it is, the lower the Z or the Y position is. And I can show you somewhat where if I go into my code, I have here the edge distance cutoff. If I change it to just 5 or something and then rerun it, you can see what I mean. Here it is. As you can see now, the slope, you can see it on the edge, is super sharp, basically. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 is the bottom vertex. So this is what I did to make it sloped. It's fairly tricky to get it to work, but I eventually managed. This was super slow though. This is a very stupid process where for actually every XY position in this mesh, I start circling around that position to eventually get to an edge. And then when it's an edge, I can calculate how many of these circles did it take to get to the edge. And yeah, basically this is super slow. You can actually see over here, when I start generating, you can see it in my terminal. If I hit the space bar, you can see how long it takes. This is all because of this edge finding process. This is one of the things that I want to change, because now it's fully on the CPU in Rust. But I would like to change this to a compute shader. I haven't done that before, but I guess it should be possible. That was the first part of this little project. I do have some other ideas that I definitely want to add. So I think the second thing I want to do is I want to add volumetric clouds. I would love to have like this nice bed of clouds below, like fully ray-marched and everything in a fragment shader, and then add some low poly clouds to stylize a little bit along there as well. That's something that I want to do next. It will hopefully be the next devlog. At least maybe part of it. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to stay updated, please consider like subscribing. I'm new to the game development world, and also new to the YouTube world and everything. So if you have any feedback where my scene can be improved, where this video can be improved, or whatever something can be improved, do leave a comment, because I'm here to learn. So yeah, cool, thanks.